Bag alert, major bag alert. Oh, bag, bag. Bag. Mailbag, it's time for the Herbert Middlecoff mailbag. The ham mailbag, the ham bag. It is sponsored by Tito's handmade vodka. Number one in America, John. It's the best.
Number one in America. Might have already had a couple today. Love this product. Swear by it. Big believer in it. So is most of America. That's why it's the number one vodka in America.
Yeah. If you saw me carrying Middlecoff out of Rooftop in Walnut Creek, just know that was 20 minutes ago, and now we're doing the mailbag.
Yeah, I've got it together.
and yes, it is. It's afternoon. It's pre-dinner. Anything else we need to mention? Oh yeah, get in the mailbag. Here's how you do it. You go to iTunes, you leave us a review, 5 stars, and in that review, you tell us your favorite bar, and you ask us a question, and that's how you get in the mailbag.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this on Saturday, mybookie.ag, promo code HAM1, our lock of the week. Chargers. We like Chargers. So hey, Justin. Let's have a game here, buddy. Brandon Staley, right. What are you going to lose? 3 straight games? Let's get it together here, guys.
Yep.
You're the favorite. You should be favored by more, but we believe in you. Let's go.
We got it at 1.
It's at 2.
It's at 2 now.
Like Justin Herbert, you shouldn't be losing to Jalen Hurts. In the pros. College, different story. Pros.
All right, John, here we go. Mailbag time. And first up, we go to D-Money88. 5 stars. Hey, John and Guy. 2-parter. Gruden, number 1. Gruden always seemed to be a poor GM and drafter, but with the Raider offense becoming very potent and the defense actually showing up, does he finally get any credit? Glad he's gone since the offense is rolling under Carl Olsen, but the team as a whole is showing real talent. Number 2, if the Raiders make the playoffs, this rich, and I'm going to read it as he wrote it, Bisaccia deserve Coach of the Year. David.
You got it right. That's how you say it.
I thought it was B. Is it Ba? B? Bisaccia? Bisaccia? I'm just nitpicking.
Yeah. It's definitely the Saccia with the B.
The Saccia part I know. Yeah. All right. D-Money88. David, who clearly wore 88 in high school.
To me, he gets 0 credit for Derek, right? I mean, Derek was on the team.
I give him a little credit. Things got better.
But I'm just saying, like, he didn't draft Derek. Derek was on the team. You know, I'll give him credit for maybe turning down some trade offers to keep Derek. he gets 100% credit, and Waller's giving him this for Darren Waller. Darren said, without them offering me a job, like, I was untouchable. You know, and this is where John Gruden, being kind of the old school Al Davis, like taking chance on a guy that didn't he say he saw him in warm-ups?
Saw him at warming up. He wasn't even playing for the Ravens that day, but he was on practice squad, so he was working out on the field.
And he was doing a Monday Night Football game, and he asked either Harbaugh or Ozzie Newsome, like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, that's Darren Waller. And he, in his mind, he kept tabs on. I give him full credit for that. And he's, as Vic Fangio said, a top 10 player in the league. So you deserve a lot of credit for that, actually, right? Because there probably aren't that many Darren Wallers that, like, if someone just gave the guy a second chance, he would have been a top 10 player in the league. But there are definitely players that don't get second chances that would have been good players. So I give him credit. Hunter Renfrow clearly feels like a Gruden guy, right? And they loved him, and they drafted him. And
you don't think Mayock loved him?
Maybe. I mean, but he definitely, like, I know talking to people on the staff, like John really liked Hunter, like once he got on the team. And he's just one of the better slot receivers. I mean, that's the guy that, let's face it, got kind of made fun of when they drafted him. Like the skinny little white guy, what are you doing drafting him? I had buddies in the league on teams that were like, you drafted Hunter Renfrow? If there's a redraft Hunter Renfrow, like what round's he going? 3rd? He ain't making it past the 3rd. He ain't going to the 3rd day.
Yeah, are you sure he doesn't go late 2nd?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going somewhere between 50 and 75, right? I mean, he's a 2nd day pick. And you drafted in the 5th round. Like that's a good pick. And they're running back, like, you know, they didn't draft him 2 overall, but they took him in the 1st round. But he's clearly a legit dude, right? I give him credit for the offense. I mean,
he's 27th in the league in catches. So yeah, you're right. That might be. He's got the same amount of catches as Robert Woods and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb,
Hunter?
DK Metcalf and Jamar Chase.
What about the tackle he made? What was the game? Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
When he made the open field tackle on the punter or the fake punt? Oh, it was Chargers. When he tackled the fucking guy, they threw the fake punt, and Hunter Renfrow lit him up like he was Ronnie Lott.
As the return guy came running up to get him before he got to the sticks, yeah.
And listen, I'm not, you know, it's hard to say this. The guy's career's over, but he was going to be right on Ruggs, the player, right? It was going to work. It was working. That was a bold pick. I mean, clearly it's a disaster now, but It would have
It
been
was.
a disaster. Shit could have happened.
I mean, I don't know. The evaluation, the other players that got drafted after him are pretty damn good too. Receivers.
It would have been hard for him to be wrong, but he definitely took the biggest swing on that, right?
He did.
Because Judy and CD, no one would have given them any shit.
The second part is Bisaccia, the coach of the year, if the Raiders make the playoffs. I mean, I'd say Cliff. Part of this is like how good are other teams. Bisaccia does have a chance.
Cliff wins 12 plus games. I don't see how he doesn't get it right.
Yeah, I mean, if New Orleans wins, could somehow win 11 games,
that'd be impressive.
They're 5-2 right now.
Even if they would have won 12 games with Jameis, that would have been impressive, right?
Yep.
Let alone with the crew of characters they got moving forward.
Now I'm just building some scenarios. I don't think Tennessee's gonna. I think Tennessee's gonna have problems. But if Tennessee were to win their division and be a top 3 seed, given that they lost Derrick Henry, why wouldn't Vrabel have a chance?
I think they're winning the division, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're 6-2. So
Colts are on TV as we're recording this, but
Sean McDermott, the Bills.
Yeah, but
they're 5-2.
But they were in the AFC Championship game last year.
I know, but you should get credit if we thought you were going to be good and you lived up and exceeded expectations.
LaFleur rattles off a couple wins with Love.
Yeah, LaFleur just goes fucking 14-3 again or some shit.
What if Sean McVay goes 14-2?
Yeah, I mean it could be. But that said, if the Raiders win, to me, what's the floor? How many games does Vegas have to get to where you go, okay, he's in the final 3?
I'd say 11 plus would be pretty awesome. Because that extra game now, it's 11-6. So you're not 4 games, you're 5 games over 500. And he's accounting for the other thing is he didn't take over a 5-0 team, right? They were 3-2.
That's right.
He's 2-0. So if he goes, he wins this week, he's 3-0. So what if his record is
9-6?
Yeah, not even. It would be 9-4 or something, right? Because they've already lost 2.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But those, those are on Gruden's ledger.
That's right. Next up, this is from John with no H. You guys are the best. Fresh takes, smart analysis, great interviews. That's right. We have been doing some more interviews. If you missed Jonathan Smith on the last pod, no matter what you're a fan of, if you like football, you'll love him. He's really bright. He's the head coach of the Oregon State Beavers. Thanks for my birthday shout out. Oh, this is the guy we said happy birthday to. My wife goes beyond just tolerating my Niners obsession. She's the most supportive woman I know. She's earned that nice fridge, sweet floors, and expensive countertops. Because you said when we saw his photo, nice kitchen. He's not just making fun of his wife. He's saying when we saw his photo. The pick was from draft day 2021. I was hoping for Lance. Now I'm keeping my fingers crossed Shanahan can get out of his own way. I think he's lost some credibility with the fans, especially after his presser Monday saying he won't play rookies and offering contradictory statements referencing Trey Lance's knee injury. If you were the head coach of this team and you were advising Shanahan, what would be the top 3 changes you'd recommend? This does not include benching Jimmy. That's too easy. Thanks again, and look me up if you're ever in D.C. Tito's on me. John with no H.
Isn't this the FBI agent?
Secret Service, I think. It turns
Secret
out.
Service. Yeah, he's a badass. So
be cool to John with no H.
Yeah, don't mess with him.
He will take a bullet for you.
Well, I don't pretend to know more quarterback. I would not start with the quarterback play, but I would do something basic. I say, Kyle, listen, Josh Norman had some moments for the Carolina Panthers, but it's 2021. You just drafted 2 guys. Do you even watch them practice? Can we just give them a shot? What's the worst you can do? This isn't Nebraska.
You don't think he leaves that to his cornerbacks coaches, especially?
Well, part of it. Well, this is why I'm asking. We're going to go to Corey Undlin and D'Amico. Hey guys, he's up. Let's give him. He's going to be in your nickel packages. I just want to see him because again, we're not at University of Utah. We're not burning any red shirts. If he sucks, guess what happens? We'll bring him back down. What's the worst case? They're getting smoked outside, guy. You think Josh Norman, let's say they are able to get by this week because Hopkins and A.J. Green are. Do you know what's coming down the pipe next week?
Yeah, the Rams.
Jesus. So it's hey, guys, can we just see if, the guy can run? Let's just start there. Can the guy run? Because Josh can't. But I don't have to like kick Josh to the curb. I can just rotate them both. Can't we play a little platoon? That'd be my first question. Can we just try some things with the corners?
What about Ayuk? What can we do with him?
Throw him the ball. Like, hey Kyle, can we you're a scheme genius. Can we just run 5 specific plays of your 60 for 11?
I would doctor the GPS number so it looks like he's been running faster in practice.
That's unfair, man.
And then like be like, I would say things in public places, like in crowded hallways. Like, I know it looked like he was dogging it, but the GPS numbers, Ayuk was running faster than Debo. Just say things like that. Kind of get Ayuk's, confidence up, support up, that sort of thing.
I got my last thing.
Okay.
Kyle, you guys have run some tricky dick shit on offense because that's your baby. So you run, so the occasional like Kyle Juszczyk that should have been a pitch. Can we go down to your special teams coach and say, hey, I've been watching football. I'm 37 years old.
I've been watching Jonathan Smith in Oregon State.
I've been watching football for a long time. Followed Boise State, the Patriots. It just seems like occasionally there's like, oh, is that a double pitch option on a punt? Is that a crazy thing on a kickoff, like a fake, like a onside kick they don't see coming, like that Dan Campbell ran? Can we just once run a fake special teams play? Just for the love of God to be like, you know what? These guys are trying. Is that too much to ask, guy?
No, it's not. It's not.
What would you do if he's like, okay, one thing? What would you ask for?
One special teams trick?
The fake kickoff where you barely touch it, that's risky. Because you give them the ball back at like midfield, right? If
the fake kickoff. You mean the onside kick?
Yeah, I mean the onside kick, but you acting like you're going to kick off, not like a setup onside kick.
Oh, right. And then you just tap it.
You do the tap.
Run next to it.
Yeah. The Lions pulled it off.
I like that play. I like that play a lot, actually. I like
it's risky, though. The risk reward there's high.
I always like a fake punt. Wisnowski has run for first downs before. He did it at Utah. He's an athletic guy. So a fake punt, run, not a throw, unless we feel like Wisnowski can throw. But that
I like the pitch to Wisnowski, getting ready, and then the guy on the side, like the Hunter Renfrow tackle. Sometimes that works.
Yeah. Okay.
Risky. He may gotta be able to throw.
Either way, whatever you do, I guess if you throw it, it gets picked. I mean, it's down there, so it's like a short punt, as long as nobody.
Could we do like a fake where the up man, instead of being like your normal backup linebacker, is actually like Brandon Ayuk, and then you just snap it to him and he takes off?
Yeah, hits the B gap, gets around the edge.
Yeah, maybe that Brandon Ayuk's too bold, like Trey Sermon, just a running back that feels comfortable with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you put Juszczyk back there.
I think he's already on it.
I don't really like the punt where you the one I like? It's not the one where you catch the punt and then throw it. I like the one where you have 2 guys back and one guy runs to one sideline and like acts like he's going to, and the ball's actually on the other side of the field going to the other person. I like that play. Low risk.
What if you recreate what the Colts did on Monday Night Football like 7 years ago?
Where they had everyone spread out and one guy under center and one guy behind him. It was literally 2 on 9. That play was terrible.
He snapped it and got tackled immediately.
What are you guys doing, man? What an awful idea.
I would die to see the practice film of that. Did it work in practice? Because even if there's just one guy, it'd be pretty easy just to get around the guy snapping, right?
Yeah. All right, next up, John. This is from InstaHutch.
3 stars.
3 stars. Decent pod. Feels like lifelong Niner fans, but I lost a little respect for these guys when they dedicated an entire episode to apologizing for their initial take on Trey Lance's performance. Felt like a local media outlet walking back their take because a few fans got their panties in a wad. I still listen, but 3 and Out has a more objective, national, unapologetic feel, which I feel I gravitate towards. All right, first of all, that's bullshit.
We had some people say that they thought we walked it back.
Here's what you walked it back. I didn't walk it back. You're the host of 3 and Out. You're the guy that said you were too harsh. I didn't change any of my opinions. And now this guy likes 3 and Out more? That's bullshit.
No, what happened is people were furious, thought we were too harsh.
Yeah.
I rewatched the game because a lot of opinions. And I said, I get it. But my main opinions, if you were just evaluating on the talent, but he did some positive things. I don't think we really changed our opinion though. Like
I know
his
I
loopy
didn't.
release.
You said you needed to not. You said that exactly what you just said. You said.
I was really. Here's the thing. I was like really angry, like I was mad at him or something. That was true. There was no doubt. And it's like I don't feel that much anger toward him, though I was a little alarmed. I guess my expectations were just too high. Now in fairness,
I
like
just
the
don't
more and
understand
more
how
you
can
watch
take that
quarterbacks
and go but you're the person that does 3 and out.
But
you're
like,
the one that changed your Niners.
But here's the thing. Like, I could easily shit. Like, I'm not invested with anyone else. Trey Lance, we are financially, like, there's so much NFL. It doesn't matter. Like, I can just talk about Urban this day. I can talk about McCarthy. With Trey Lance, like, all of our chips are in the middle of the table and this guy being good. So when I got the slightest thought that, like, is this guy going to suck? And that would be strong. Like, is this guy not going to live up? When you trade 3 first-rounders, here was my take, and I will not back this one back. When you trade 3 first-rounders, and I feel stronger about this as the season goes back, anything, if doesn't become a Pro Bowler, they're fucked. So it's like our expectations for this fucking kid, just like Kyle's, I mean, they're all in. Like, they're all in. So, yeah, I got a little alarmed. I'm financially, in a weird way,
but that's not the part we're addressing
player.
Here. We're addressing the walk back. The alleged walk back.
I pulled it back. I was angry.
Right.
Because I'm scared that he's not going to be good enough. And I don't watch every game that all these other teams play. I watch every single snap this kid is ever going to play. So he better be, one, for my own time. I dedicate a lot of time. Now, granted, I profit off it. But, like, I ain't making enough to watch. I just think of some shitty quarterback. Like, I will lose my shit.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's fair that I potentially am losing a listener here, even though he says he's going to keep listening, when I didn't change my take.
It was probably more my idea to do a take back?
No, it's not a take back. We do topics. We've done it before. You do a topics. People are like, oh, we think your opinion was bad. Let's address that. That's doing content, right? Like, we thought you guys, we did it in the summer too. I don't remember what. We went through a bunch of YouTube comments and made another topic out of that topic, or it's topic creation.
Well, I think on the most basic level on the other podcast, I can just hover on things. Like, I'm all in on this guy. Like, I spend the majority of my time thinking and watching this guy.
I don't want to insta-hutch. I don't think I should lose a listener because you didn't like John's take. I feel like I'm catching shrapnel here. I didn't change my take.
Yeah, he thought we couldn't handle the heat, right? We ran out of the kitchen.
Which, we could debate that. Maybe we should have done that topic.
Yeah.
But I do think we should talk as much Niners as we do. I personally like talking about other things like Derrick Henry too. And I want to make sure you can't be everything to everybody, but I do want to make sure that people who aren't Niner fans can listen and enjoy our podcast. Now, this guy's a Niner fan, so
for sure.
And most football fans that's why football's so successful. It's like Colts fucking Jets play.
Like, yeah, we talk a lot of Niners, but for the most part, we're playing the hits. Like, we ain't breaking down DB and O-line play. We're going to end up, just like a lot of people nationally will, it's a major freaking story, Trey Lance. So he better be good, guy, or I'm going to get mad. You know
what city I love, John? Boston. Just want to make sure I'm not being hyper-local. I like Boston.
Yeah, I do too. It's Trey Lance. It's just, I'm still a little nervous.
I like this. A decent pod. That hurts. I hope we can get that back up to 5 insta hutch.
Guy, I remember Harbaugh had a quote like, you can't worry about everyone liking you.
That's a fact, Jack. You can't be everything to everybody, as somebody in radio once told me.
No.
Devil Dog 1345, 5 hams. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. Love the show. Question for the pod. How about a Packers pod? You can call it ham and cheese. Favorite bar is McFarland Tavern. $50 will get you blackout drunk. Come to a Badger game for some old fashions and fish fry. What is fish fry exactly?
I think just fried fish, right? You just put the fish down like you do with French fries, in the oil.
No, I like some chicken fry.
What I don't understand, what I do not understand as a dirty eater, why if I grill the chicken, it's like that's the best thing you can have. You grill the fish, yet if I just put that thing down in the oil, it immediately becomes terrible for my health. Like, is it just the oil?
Some fat. Nah, man, you can do a little of that. It's all good. Yeah, it's the oil, but whatever.
Have you ever had a good chicken tender? I mean, it tastes amazing. But if it was grilled, it'd be like way better for you.
Not even. Have you ever accidentally, or not accidentally, been like, you know what I'm going to get at Chick-fil-A today? The grilled chicken sandwich. It's like, what am I doing here?
I've done it before, and it sucks.
Fish fry, it's just a whole fried chicken. It looks like. I mean, fish fry. But why are they? What are these angles? What is there holes in them? Some of these.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers on the Niners next year.
McFarland Tavern. How about a Packers pod? Could you do a Packers pod? Speaking of profitable podcasts,
But you could argue, if you just look at the Packers as a stock, now Aaron, even if he's got 3 or 5 years left, they are probably turning, like more than likely they went from Favre when we were kids for the next 15 years to then 15 years with Aaron. Like if you were going to sell some stock, is that kind of like Amazon E at like, 3,500 and you got in at 200? Like Packer fans have to acknowledge this. And especially, the last 2 years, they're like 30 whatever. They don't lose. They do not lose. They fucking played a game without their coordinator and 7 wide receivers, and they beat the Cardinals.
You think Aaron Nagler would? You saying Aaron Nagler would do a big show if Aaron Rodgers signed like a 3-year extension?
Yeah, they better pray that they just figured this thing out. I saw
Jordan Love looks good on Sunday.
Nagler tweeted something out that he's like everyone about the COVID thing. Everyone's freaking out. Like no one knows anything. Can we just wait before we hear it from Aaron? Like hasn't he earned the benefit of the doubt like the whole offseason? And then he gave the press conference. And everyone remember he gave the opening press conference to training camp. And people were like that's the best press conference I've ever seen. Everyone hated him before that. They're like, this asshole, drama queen. And then he gave the press conference. Like, God, he made a lot of good points. I thought that. I was like, yeah, I would have. He deserved a little personnel input. Now, he was also like, remember, it was like, I told Charles Woods, it was like, some of the guys you were listing, like at the time, it was the right football decision, Aaron. It's easy to play like Monday morning. You're like, Jordy Nelson. And they're like, Aaron, Jordy was kind of shot. He's like, well, he would have been better with me. It's like, Aaron, he couldn't run.
All right, John, finally, this one comes from Facebook, where you can also hit us up. This from the Facebook chat. Question for the pod from Nolan. This was on Sunday. Will today's loss get the entire world to calm down on thinking Justin Herbert's the greatest draft pick of all time? He's really good, and his coach seems to be really good too. But it's still the Chargers. No matter how much talent they have, they always find a way to be unsuccessful. Can we calm down on Justin Herbert being the greatest pick of all time?
It's a big week for him, guy. Now he's hurt hand, but is that an excuse? He still threw 2 touchdowns last week. The Patriot game, I remember watching thinking like, yeah, he just doesn't quite, something's a little off. Mike Williams is banged up.
So I think part of the reason Justin Herbert's hype has been so big is because he's put up incredible numbers. But part of the reason is that at 6'6", 237 pounds with a cannon arm, really smart brain, good leader, good disposition, he is also a premium prospect. And the fact is that when you are in your second year in the NFL, which he is, you are still more prospect than anything else, right? Really productive year one, fantastic player. I think we can safely say really good quarterback.
Played a lot in college. Played a lot in college, though, right?
Yeah, but my point is just like Justin Herbert's not going to be defined by one good year if he's great. He's not going to be defined by a few bad games. I'm not going to start rethinking Justin Herbert after a couple of bad games. I think the reason that we liked him so much early is because Oregon didn't look like this. You know what I mean? Like if he had looked like this for 3 years at Oregon, I think you'd feel a little. You would have expected it. I think part of it is still like we didn't quite. Even some people thought he'd be good, some people, but we didn't expect it to look like that because it's just not what it looks like for most. And if his version of his rookie year, when he's in his 5th year, is if he's 67%, 31 touchdowns, 10 picks, 4,300 yards, by year 5, that might be a down year for him. Like what his rookie year was might be an average or solid year for him, right?
Well, I'm just pulling up a stat. Like I still feel like this year he's 63%, which I think you'd like to see a little higher relative to. That's I'd say a couple percent low right now, which is weird. We've been talking a lot about this for the last year. We can mention this Jonathan Smith. 64 really is probably needs to be 68. He's 16-6. Everyone's shitting on Mahomes. Mahomes has 5 more touchdowns than him. So he just. Now, he also is on his second coordinator in as many years. It's just he's at the Chargers. One thing he has to overcome is the Chargers. right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have Andy Reid or Sean Payton, but he does have really good talent around him. He doesn't just need to play. Like we did anoint him really fast. Now part of his being anointed was like is being compared to Tua, which he won. Like he's won. It's over. But guys like I know talking to Coward, like well, I'd take him over fucking Mahomes. Like people are making statements that like I can see it. It's like let's pump the brakes a little. That's fair.
And in the end, he can be a great quarterback without being better than Mahomes. And even with Mahomes, we're seeing as careers are made over time.
Well, I'll give you one for
over
example.
Time.
We've talked a lot about for him specifically that he easily could have been the number 1 pick in that draft. Joe Burrow, for example, this year goes to the Bengals, comes back from a knee injury. Now he's played 1 more game, has 6 more. Joe Burrow is more accurate than him. Joe Burrow might just be a better player. He's a more powerful, he has better attributes, Herbert. Right. Burrow's pretty good. Because I probably am guilty of this, being like, Herbert would go number 1. Like, no, man, I think Burrow's got some special qualities to him, right? Because he deserves a lot of credit for doing that in Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
Would Herbert be as good in Cincinnati?
Doubtful.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with being the number 2 pick. If you'd be like, yeah, take Burrow 1, you 2. Like, that's pretty good. Like, both those
part of it last year was Burrow was good with no one really around him. This year, you had Keenan Allen to start and those guys. But again, that's fine. You don't get discredited by being on good teams. Maybe Herbert would get there too. But, I thought Burrow came into the league more ready based on his college experience. And it turned out Herbert was pretty ready also.
Well, it's 2 people that have $500 on them. Let's just have a good game this weekend and start building back up, right?
Yeah, it's just about winning, John. It's about winning. And when I'm half kidding, but actually now that I say that, in all seriousness, once you've been in the league 3, 4, 5, 6 years and you've won, and then we start talking about you as a winner, you as a Super Bowl champion, you as a conference champion, right? Then there are other things that matter less. The numbers are still the numbers, but do you pair them with winning? And getting the Chargers to actually break through would be one of the great sports accomplishments of our lifetime.
You mean a Super Bowl?
I just mean like getting the Chargers to not have some slip it on the banana peel at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Just put together a great year, whatever, get beat in the second round of the AFC playoffs by the team that goes to the Super Bowl. But even
like,
I don't know.
What if you beat the Ravens in the first round or something?
Yeah,
you beat Lamar.
Just have a year where you go, you know what? Not only one team gets to end on a win, except for teams that miss the playoffs and win at the end of the regular season, but only one team gets to end on a win. Like we had a hell of a year. Not we're up 30 in the wild card game and blew it or some shit, which is what every Charger fan probably expects.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me kind of too. All right, on that note.
Really quick, I've picked up, we're recording this on Thursday night game. Mike White looks pretty good. Like he's got a hose. Could Mike White be better than Zach Wilson? Mike White looks good. Big, he can move, he's got a big arm.
When the tape gets out on you, John.
I know. I saw last week when they beat the Bengals, one of his teammates were like, were you surprised? He's like, hell no. That's Mike effing White.
And this whole time we're like, they are doing Zach Wilson a disservice. They don't give him a veteran backup. Why aren't they giving him Mike Glennon?
They gave him Mike White.
They gave him Mike White. All right, good pod. Good mailbag.
Good talk, people.